Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real with America's Supermom. I'm really excited about my next guest. I have Vandy here, and we got connected through Clubhouse. So I'm excited to have her here live in person. I tell you, Clubhouse, you make a lot of great connections, and it's even more special to see people face to face in person or virtually. So I'm excited to have her here with me today. She knows a lot of things about networking, and this is something that we've kind of learned a lot about when it comes to Clubhouse and this new platform. So I'm excited to kind of dive into some strategies or whatever she feels led to share. But before we get into that, I want to give her the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hey everybody, my name is Vandy Flake. I am from a small town called Snowflake, Arizona. So I am a mom of 4 kids. I am a network marketer and a best-selling author, and I just love to connect with people, and I love helping moms who want better health and want to make a little bit of extra money. So that's kind of my passion of finding people that I can help.
I love that. And so, we've had quite a time network marketing on Clubhouse. So, talk to those in the audience about, this platform, how you might have used it to kind of help you move forward in your business.
You know what I like about Clubhouse is it's live. And so everybody is there, and you get real authentic connections. I've had so many people that are sharing stories that needed help. I've opened a couple of different mom rooms and they've been small, but the people there that have joined in, and it's been interesting as somebody's joined and needed help with a question, somebody else had joined at the same time and they had that experience. So it was a great way just to really connect and and put the people together where they needed it. Every
I
Monday night,
love
yeah, every Monday
Mhm.
night I'm part of a mental health anti-bullying campaign because I think right now, especially in the pandemic and with our children, there's a big concern with their mental health. And so a lot of us are moms or dads that have just kind of joined together to brainstorm and share stories on what we can do. And it's,
Absolutely.
again, Clubhouse has been a neat resource where everybody's been live and connected, together.
I
So
love that. Yeah. And so, mental health is just something that I definitely feel strongly about as I suffered through my own story on my journey with depression. So, what are some things that we can be mindful of when it comes with our children about making sure that we are in tune with their mental health?
I think paying attention. So a little bit of backstory there. In 2000, let me think, 19 now,
Hmm.
my family, we left in an RV road trip. So we sold our house, sold our little farm. We loaded our 4 kids up in an RV and we crisscrossed the country. And at the time, my kids were little. My daughter was 13, but she really struggled with that. And you can hear my son pounding on the door.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
This
That's
is
all.
real life. It's real life.
Hey, look, you see, I didn't even flinch. I have all kind of craziness that goes on, and everybody's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm doing an interview and just, putting on a smile like nothing's going on. I really know how to tune some stuff
Well,
out.
it's out. So he'll catch it. So anyway, we left and we had some really, really great experiences. We got to meet a lot of neat people. We got to see some amazing things in this country.
Mhm.
But when COVID hit and started shutting down campgrounds, shutting down museums, shutting down playgrounds, I mean, I couldn't even take my kids outside the RV. That was not a doable lifestyle for us anymore. So we shifted gears and came back and bought a home back by family again. And my daughter has really, really blossomed. So we are in one of the test schools that are going to in-person school with masks. And so she has just blossomed. I did not realize how much she was missing that social interaction. And also, the other thing I think we need to do for ourselves and for our kids is give ourselves, the chance to grieve for things that are canceled, events that are canceled, things that we may have been planning on, because for a lot of us, you and it's a balance, because I know there's people that have lost loved ones and everything else. So it seems silly to grieve over a missed camp or a missed, opportunity. But those are real things that our kids are missing. And I think it's important to kind of understand that and understand that balance. And so for us, that's been one of the big things there. And then leveraging other ways for kids to connect if they are in. I know everybody's dealing with this in so many different ways, so it's hard. What works in one town doesn't work in another town. But leveraging social media and those kind of aspects, so our kids can at least have some interaction. And again, be aware of bullying, because one of the risks of social media is you are allowing that bully into your home, and they have constant access to your kid. And so that's, right now makes it really hard, because you're trying to balance both sides. And every parent just kind of has to walk this line differently. We lost my nephew 2.5 years ago, as a young man, to suicide. And it was very, very unexpected. So my heart goes out to those that are struggling with mental illness, to those that are struggling with depression, because it is a real thing. But we can also, I don't know, how do I want to say this? Watch for signs and watch for ways we can, tackle it our best. So when I struggle, and I have, for me, my whole life was turned completely upside down. I'm a planner. I like things planned out. And so to shift gears and turn it around, and all the unknowns that were happening last year kind of threw me into a tailspin. And so some of the things that I applied to myself and used them for my kids also, getting outside, walking in the sunlight, making sure we were eating enough good food, drinking enough water, getting that exercise and sleep, because it was kind of easy to go into a, staying up late, watching movies, not getting enough sleep, and kind of the cycle. And I know when we do those little things, write in your gratitude journal and things like that, that it can really, really help kind of fight. I call it fighting apathy, which can kind of lead to, depression. And not to say depression and mental illness are not real things that don't need real doctors, but sometimes that apathy we can fight by, staying focused on our goals and staying focused on taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, so true. I think that's definitely a topic that does not get enough of attention, in terms of awareness. It's kind of like the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. So I really appreciate that you guys are taking such a stance on that. And it's an important topic that needs to be addressed. So when it comes to network marketing, a lot of people are transitioning into this because maybe they were on this job for 20 years that has been eliminated due to the virus, because, things are changing in different industries. So what tips would you give somebody, or words of encouragement would you tell them about pursuing something when it comes to network marketing?
Well, I love the network marketing industry. So 10 years ago, I found myself lost. I had two little kids at home, and I felt like every day was Groundhog's Day. I was running on a hamster wheel, and there was never enough time. There was never enough money. And I felt pulled. Like I felt like I was failing as a mom because my baby was sick and I had to be at work. And every time they were sick, I just felt this pull and this juggle. And I didn't have another option. I was tired. I didn't have enough energy. I wasn't sleeping good. And so when I found network marketing, to me, it was an answer to my prayers. And so if you're looking, though, be cautious, because you're going to be attaching your name and your reputation to something. And so I tell people to look at a couple different things. Check out the company, see what's going on with it, there is, the excitement of being first, but then sometimes those companies don't make it. You know, 80% of businesses close their door in the first 5 years, and that's in any industry. And so you want to make sure that the company is solid that you are working with. I picked one that was publicly traded for that reason. You want to make sure that the product is something you're going to be excited about, because there's a lot of, and I order from a lot of network marketing companies because there's a lot of great products, but there's a lot of products that don't excite me enough to put in the time and the effort to build it as a business. So those are two. You want to look at those. You want to look at the compensation plan. How does it pay out? How are people making money? Because there's, good, better, best. And you want to make sure that if you are putting in something that your work is going to be rewarding to you. And so you want to kind of look at those things. Most companies have an income disclosure where you can go and kind of look and see where the averages are. You want to look at the training and the system that's in place, because even though you're in business for yourself, you don't want to be in business by yourself, if that makes sense. You want to be part of a team and part of people that are going to train you and help you, build your business, because that is, to me, one of the most beautiful parts about network marketing is when you can help other people build their business and have that, and kind of leverage and all work together. And so you can build that together. And so for me, that's one of, my biggest things that I really, really like. And I do share that. I'll just put a plug in. This is my first book that came out. It's called Yes, I Can, 15
Oh,
Mindset.
awesome.
And I can send you the link too. But
Mm-hmm.
that, I share just some of my tips in there of, understanding that network marketing is work. And you're going to have to do things every day, but it can pay off in a very big way. We've been involved for 10 years. The last 8 years, that's been our full-time income. And so you can make it work, but you just really have to make sure you partner with the right company, because you don't want all that work to go, into something that you're not going to be excited about in 5 years, or it's not going to pay you enough, because there are different things. So, I'm always happy. I've had people reach out to me just after doing some of these interviews, and I tell people I'm always happy if you have some questions or want to discuss some more on what that is, and they can find me on social media. But you want to look at those things, and then, go to work, follow the system. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and get the education. I tell people, it's about 80% work and 20% mindset. If you don't do that mindset piece, you won't get the growth. And when you follow the system, there's a lot of possibilities there. And it can really, really bless a lot of people's lives.
I love that. And I love the thing about the mindset. That is so key, because you have a lot of people, they see the network marketing, they hear the presentations from the people that are regionals, or, see how accessible they are. So, some people go into a network marketing meeting thinking, oh, I'm going to be doing that next week, making that kind of income. So, talk to us about mindset. What are some things that you do in your daily routine that help you maintain that type of mindset?
Well, the first thing that I realized when I went to kind of the big network marketing meeting, we'd already joined, we'd already started to make a little bit of money. But we went to this big meeting, and the guy on stage, and I can't even remember who he was now, but he said, you become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that really hit me, because I realized that with the exception of my husband, the other 4 people were people that I worked with who were not the most positive. And I was becoming a version of myself I didn't like. And so one of the things I've learned in the last 10 years is you can hack the 5 people you spend the most time with by listening to podcasts, by reading good books, by, self-improvement books, or whatever, the trainings from your company. And you can surround yourself with these people that are so inspiring. And, there's so many. And there's so many podcasts. I had somebody tell me, they said, well, I don't have any money for that. I said, there's podcasts, there's books, there's audiobooks. You can get an entire mindset education for really, really inexpensive. And any for me, I turn on a podcast while I'm loading the dishwasher, while I'm folding laundry. I incorporate it into my day. If I'm driving kids around, we're listening, to positive things, to mindset. And another tip I do is I pay my kids to read good books, you know, books that are going to talk to them about their mindset. And so that they are starting, my 12 and 15-year-old have already started, being entrepreneurs, looking at ideas on how they can make money in a different sort of way, because we are in such an unusual time right now. And so that's how I incorporate it. But somebody said, what was the quote? That, positivity doesn't last. And I tell them, they said it's like bathing. We have to do it every day because there's so much negativity. And we turn off the news a lot. When I find myself, especially this last year, I think the news has been extremely negative, and the politics have been like, and I don't care what side you're on.
Right.
There's been, because I have friends that are very, very strong on both sides. And some of those I've just muted for a little bit because I couldn't allow that negativity into my life. I protect my energy a lot. So that's just some of my ideas.
I love that. And so talk to us about some of the income producing activities, because that's another thing. People think, oh, I'm just going to tell everybody about this network marketing and they're just going to jump on board and that type of thing. And so, it's a kind of a hard space to be in because you want to just have the positive things happen. You don't want to deal with the negative. So, sometimes you can find yourself on this train of not doing income producing activities. So, talk to us about the difference between the two and how you kind of weave that in your day to make sure that those are taken care of.
Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, you're in sales. And so the only time your business is growing is when you are sharing the information, whether it's a video, a webinar, whatever. We built a lot of it face to face in meetings, but that's not, possible anymore. So a lot of it's moving to social media and stuff. So it's reaching out, making new connections, making new friends, and sharing your story. Sharing, I always tell people, you share your story, the company story, and how you get paid. Or, another one is you share what was painful. I shared how I hated my job and I felt like I was failing as a mom. Then I found this, business, and now I'm excited about the future because we are stay-at-home parents, and I see, the possibilities. It's allowed us to travel before the world shut down, and we will again because I stay positive on my goals and what I want. But so you really want to focus on, your numbers, sharing, and treat it like a business, because if you do not, too many people treat network marketing as a hobby, and I tell people, hobbies are like golf. You can either, if you're a professional, you get paid to play. But if you are an amateur, you pay so you can play. And people that treat network marketing like a hobby, they end up just kind of paying to hang around and stuff. But people that treat it like a business, they're tracking their numbers. They're tracking their income producing activities. They are tracking the number of people they invite, the number of people they need to follow up with, because and then they are sharing on social media and podcasts and stuff like this, because you want to become somebody that people know, like, and trust. And you're not going to do that if you're just watching Netflix and stuff. So yeah, give value. So like when I am on Clubhouse, I'm there to learn, and I'm there to give value and then make connections. So I'm always trying to give back value and share things that I've learned. That's why I wrote a book. That's why I joined, share my story on podcast is I want to give people back value of things I've learned. If I can save somebody a couple years because of something I've learned, that's what I want to do.
That's great. That's great. So, what are some podcasts that are your favorites?
Oh, I love Mel Robbins. She's one of my
Okay.
favorite. That 5 second rule,
Yeah.
and just, looking for happiness on ideas. And if you're in the network marketing space, there's a couple people I recommend. And one's Eric Worre and Fraser Brooks and, Brian Fryer. Those are some of
Mhm.
your generic. One thing I've learned that you have to kind of be careful of is when you're looking for coaches and trainings outside of your company, you want to make sure it's not somebody that is offering a free training just so they can get you into their sales funnel, because there are a few people that kind of present that way.
Mhm.
And I just, so they, the people that I promote are people that are generic. They are not promoting one company or another. They're just
Mhm.
trying to raise the bar for the whole industry.
Mhm.
And those are some amazing people. And I follow a lot of different, of the leaders throughout the industry.
Mhm.
But any podcasts, I mean, there's one, I think it's the Happy Joyful Mama and stuff. So
Mhm.
I like a lot of parenting podcasts. That's how I discovered you, is looking for,
Mhm.
um, looking for those kind of things. But I find something that jives with my values and kind of
Mhm.
go from there.
I love that. And so, when it comes to following up with people for networking, because they say the fortune is in the follow up. So, what type of system do you use for following up with people? Because I think this is where a lot of us get it wrong. We meet somebody, we get their contact information, and, before you know it, tomorrow turns in the next week, in the next month. And, so what is the system that you use for following up?
I use an app so that way I can put people in. I can send them the videos. I can tell when they've watched the video, so I can follow up. I can look at that activity. Um, that's what I do personally, but I do know. I mean, I've got notebooks of where we've done. I've done Excel sheets. I've done all, and try to put people in your phone and save it with prospect or a note. I met you at the airport or whatever it was. And and some of those people I've just messaged and said, hey, we've got a new video, I didn't know if you were still interested. They
Mhm.
may never remember me, they may block me, but I always tell people, practice on your cold market, because if that person doesn't know you, who cares? Just practice on them.
I
And don't
like
worry,
that.
because you know what, I mean, if it, and there have been, I know, I have friends who are in this industry because a stranger walked up to them
Mhm.
and shared something with them that changed their life.
Yeah.
So it is possible, but most people are in this industry because a friend cared enough to share a gift with them. And for us, I'm in the health and wellness, so
Mhm.
I kind of talk to people on two different things: if they're looking for better health, better sleep, or if they're looking for to make a little extra money. And I
Mhm.
heard something the other day in one of my trainings, because you know, I spent an hour and a half yesterday and today with some amazing coaches, because even at my level, I am still looking to be better. I want
Mhm.
to be the best I can because I want to be a good leader, and
Mhm.
I want to build this, you know, to, the bet. I want to raise the bar for the whole industry. But he said
Mhm.
too many of us are talking about mansion and Ferraris when we should be talking about house payments and Hondas.
I
And
love that. I love that.
because most people in my business are not going to go to the top. But if I
Right.
could have 100 moms making a couple $100s a month and it was changing their life, what a
Yeah.
blessing that would be. And it may
Mhm.
just be that. I remember the text from a friend, and she was just so excited because she could make a car payment and buy a second car. And that was
Amen.
what she was looking for at the
Mhm.
time. And she's
Mhm.
since grown her goals. But I think sometimes we forget because we look too high up instead of just looking at
Mhm.
what people really need. And,
Amen. That's good.
and when you
I
can
love that. House payments and Hondas.
because that's what most people are looking
that
that I
that
said
is so
I
true.
was looking for.
Yeah. And my thing is, why is it that people don't stay there? Because like if you listen to a presentation, they're like, well, you might want to make an extra $500 a month that could help with your kids, and their soccer fees or, all the equipment they need for that. And then you go to a couple meetings and you're way out here trying to make $6,000 a month. And it's like, now wait a minute, what happened between this extra $500 to now we're seeking thousands of dollars in a month and we haven't even practiced a system or a routine, you know?
Yeah. I think some of it is people get greedy, but
Mhm.
money doesn't change who you are. Money just amplifies. So if you're a giving, loving person, I mean, I know people that started off in a little tiny trailer with a car that barely ran, and they make six figures a month and they are still the same down to earth, quiet people. They do have a nicer house, but they who they are hasn't really changed at all. They are
Mhm.
still giving back. They still are doing service because that's who they are fundamentally.
Mhm.
And people that are going to cheat you or lie or inflate the opportunity, it doesn't matter how much money they're going to make. And those people usually don't seem to stick around, is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Um, so money just kind of amplifies it. I
Mhm.
am so grateful. But when I started, I was just looking for a little bit extra because I had a baby in diapers and I didn't have an extra couple $100 a month, but I knew I wanted to do something to improve my health because I had hit 30 and I was realizing that things were changing,
Mhm.
and I then as I grew a little bit, I made some bigger goals. As I hit those goals, I made bigger goals. But we wanted to be able to be home with our kids and have that flexibility and to travel with our kids and stuff. And then we made our next goal was to help 100 families find that because it
Mhm.
meant so much to us. And I
Mhm.
could I could sit back and collect a fairly nice check, but
Mhm.
that's not who I am. And so I want to give back. I want to keep growing and stuff. So there's a lot of things that are near and dear to my heart that I
Mhm.
would like, to keep growing so I can keep blessing those organizations.
Love that. So this has just been a great interview with some great insights. So I hope everybody was taking notes. What is the best way for the audience to get a hold of you?
Probably on social media. I am on Clubhouse, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook as Vandy Flake. And so I was named after my granddad. He was Van. So that's how I got my name.
Mhm.
So we are the Flakes from Snowflake, Arizona. And my husband says if a flake can do this, you can do it too.
I love that. I love that. So, what final words would you like to share with everybody?
Go for your dreams. You guys, this world's always, as a kid, they asked us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then as you got older, everyone just told you to settle. And I'm just here to tell you that your dreams are out there. You just need to find the right vehicle to partner with and then run with it because you can soar with the eagles if you want it. It's all out there if we, believe in yourself and your dreams are possible no matter what they are. And I know people that have used this to do a lot of different dreams. So go out there and chase your dreams. But thank you for having me on the show and letting me share a little bit about my story.
You are so welcome. And this has just definitely been a pleasure. And I encourage those of you that are watching that if something that Vandy said resonates with you to reach out. A lot of times we get stuck in our mess because of our own selves. We're not taking that next step to connect with somebody that resonates with us so we can have a different outlook. So reach out to her. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. We'll be sure that we get those to her And again, Vandy, we just want to thank you so much for sharing your insight and your wisdom with us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here and sharing. So I'm gonna take a quick picture and put it on my social media too.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. Well,
thank
thank you guys so much for watching. And again, reach out to Vandy. But in the meantime, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.